Hello, my YouTubers. Uh, Today I'm trying to fix a Husky air compressor, and I'm gonna show you in the video what I did. Uh, Let me show you the box that I still have. Okay, this is the box of the air compressor. As you can see, the brand name is a Husky 10 gallon, and it has a 2-year limit warranty. So, and right after showing you the box, I'm gonna show you at the beginning of the video what exactly the air compressor was doing. It was making a noise or a buzzing noise, and then it trips the circuit breaker at home. Okay, this is what I found. After removing the cover from the air compressor, I suspected right away that the capacitor, this is the starting capacitor and this is the running capacitor. So by watching what the compressor was doing, that as soon as I turn it on, it just make the noise and pop the circuit breaker. So I thought at the beginning that the starting capacitor was bad. So I removed both of, oh, by the way, on the manual it shows a different part name for both of them, or it calls for a different part number. So I thought that since I bought it second hand, that the previous owner probably ended up messing around with the capacitors. So what I did, I called a store and I told them the kind of capacitors I had, since I couldn't test it with my multimeter because it wasn't capable to read or test the capacitors. So I removed them, both of them, took them to the store, and they tested them, and it turned out that both of the capacitors were working fine, or they were doing what they supposed to read. So I came back, put them back in, assemble them back, and then I tried to turn right here. He had the fan. I removed it. I tried to turn it, and I couldn't turn it by hand. It was really hard to turn it. I couldn't turn it at all, so I had to use a wrench. I had to use my wrench like this and use a lot of force, a lot of force to be able to turn it. So finally, when I was able to turn it, this switch, or this part right here, this one, it was hitting, or this part, like I said, this part, this corner right here, I don't know if you're able to see it, this corner was hitting this part of the switch. So when I had everything assembled like this, plus the fan, this part was touching this part, and once I tried to even turn it by hand, it was hitting here. So then I ended up removing everything, because this part, so it is like this, right? It's spinning. So once this part started spinning, this thing got pushed in. See how it goes in and out? So when the motor starts spinning, this thing goes in, and then it releases this switch right here. See? It releases this switch, the one in the middle. Right now is touching the bottom, or this size, this probe right here. And once it's released, it touches the upper one, the one right here. So since this part was all the way in, it was touching like this, and it couldn't move. So like I said, once I remove this part, I tried to spin just the shaft like this with my wrench, and I couldn't, so I had to use a lot of force to be able to turn it. Finally, once I was able to turn it or to spin, I could hear the piston that it was going up and down, so meaning that it wasn't broken. And I also read that this right here is another switch, or a circuit breaker, like a circuit breaker. So this was all wrapped inside, and I read and I find out through a video on YouTube that once this got hot, sometimes you ended up having problems. So I cut the wire tight, and I just move it out. So now when I had it like this, I went ahead and I removed the 4 bolts from here. Okay, so we had it like this, right? I remove this part. Okay, remove the cable from here. Also remove another cable from here that goes to the running capacitor. I remove the ground wire. Then I remove these 2 bolts right here. 1, 2. Then I remove this part right here, which is the switch. See? See the switch? So then I unplug it. Right? So now everything is loose. I remove 4 screws. 1, 2, and 2 on the bottom. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Then I remove this housing. Actually, yeah, I remove this and just put it on the side, because I didn't disconnect it. Oh, by the way, it also has this washer. I don't know what is the purpose, but it goes inside here. So like this. So then I push everything out. Everything out like this, and I was able to see how it works, but it doesn't have anything else but just the bearing. I don't know if you're able to see the bearing in here. So the bearing was all the way in. So then I ended up removing this to see how the piston was. Then I found out once I remove the housing, I look at the piston, and the piston was like this. So you can see that the clearance like this is very small, or it wasn't on center. And look right here, you can see it wasn't on center. I'm gonna try. See, well, the ring doesn't let you see it, but it was almost touching the bottom part like this. On the other hand, it has a lot of room on this side, so therefore it wasn't aligned with the housing. So when the piston was trying to go in, it wasn't going in straight. It was going in on angle. So I ended up removing the part right here to see. And what I did, I removed the piston like you saw. Take it out, and then I remove the eccentric by losing this screw. Okay, I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna remove it so you can see it. Okay, here I already removed the eccentric. Okay, has this, and the inside has like the stop. So once you put it in, it only goes as far as that stop is. So once I removed this, I was very able to turn it just by my 2 fingers like this. So I realized that the shaft wasn't going in straight. So I had to align the housing, these 4 bolts with the housing. So what I did, I inserted the piston and I aligned it, the whole thing with the 4 bolts, and then I use my punch, this punch, put it like this to push it in the shaft towards going on that direction. Only about 3/16 of an inch, or between 1/8 and 3/16. So it went in. Okay, so once it got in, I put everything back. Like this, and once I turn it on, boom, it run okay. So bingo. Now for my Latino or Spanish speakers, okay. Para mis amigos latinos, ¿verdad? Porque somos latinos. El problema era de que cuando compré este compresor de segunda mano, me lo vendieron porque supuestamente no sirve, ¿verdad? Y como vieron al principio del video, cuando lo conectaba y lo prendía, solamente hacía un ruido y automáticamente sobrecalentaba sobrecalentaba o jalaba mucha corriente y botaba el breaker o el fusible de la conexión de la luz. Entonces lo que hice fue tratar de checar los 2 capacitores. Este es el que empieza y este es el que continúa. Entonces los quité porque pensé que estaban malos, porque vi también en el manual que pedía por, no sé si puedan ver aquí, el número de parte. A ver, let me try to zoom in. Si miran el número de parte, sí, este es el número de parte, y E220629, y este otro que es aquí abajo, E130758. Y en el manual, déjenme ir a agarrar el manual para que vean, para que les muestre. En el manual, aquí está el manual, estamos viendo que en el manual que pide que es el número 23 y 24, y tenemos que el 23, que es el 23, que es el starting capacitor, termina en 6415, y aquí tenemos que es 0629, y el otro que es 0758, que debería de haber sido E106416, porque es el running capacitor. Entonces eso me hizo desconfiar, pensé que estaban mal, los quité, los llevé a una tienda donde me iba supuestamente a comprar unos nuevos, y ahí mismo los checaron y vieron que sí estaban bien. Entonces ya no compré nada. Regresé, y como no podía darle vuelta aquí para nada, con una llave, ¿verdad? Agarré y le di vueltas usando mucha fuerza o duro, ¿verdad? Y por fin pudo moverse poquito. Pero al moverlo, giró esta parte, y al girar esta parte, pegaba aquí en el switch. Entonces removí todo, ¿verdad? Así como ahorita removí todo, quité esta parte también, ¿verdad? La removí, la puse aquí a un lado. Removí también el housing ¿verdad? O aquí donde parte eléctrica, lo removí, y vi que no había absolutamente nada más. Entonces lo volví a poner para atrás. Ok, y traté de moverlo y tampoco se movía, o sí se movía pero usando mucha fuerza. Entonces lo que hice fue remover esta parte que va así. La removí, dejando adentro nada más el pistón, y al destaparla me di cuenta de que el pistón no estaba centrado. Prácticamente, si ven ahí, si ven la diferencia, que casi pega en este lado del housing, y de este lado estaba casi así. Y por eso cuando entraba el pistón al housing ¿verdad? Que es el vacuum, donde hace pues la compresión para el aire, no entraba bien, entraba sesgado, no entraba derecho. Entonces lo que hice, le abrí aquí donde va el aceite, que va esta parte que es donde entra el pistón, ¿verdad? Aquí entra el pistón, ¿verdad? Entonces esta parte la removí, y lo que hice fue usar este tubo o este punch, ¿verdad? Le pegué aquí con el martillo para mover esta parte hacia adentro como 3/16 o 1/8 de pulgada. Una vez que hice eso, volví a ensamblar todo, asegurándome de que el housing o los tornillos estos ensamblaran bien o se alinearan bien con los 4 hoyos, ¿verdad? Y que el pistón entrara y bajara aquí adentro en el housing libremente o fácilmente. Y una vez de que hice eso, con los dedos nada más, simplemente así como ahorita ven, lo pude girar y ya prácticamente eso resolvió mi problema, porque lo conecté y al conectarlo, como ven en el video, trabajó bien. Ahora lo que voy a hacer, este video, ya que me aseguré que funcionó bien, voy a ensamblar otra vez todo y asegurarme de que obvio que haya presión de aire y todo. Espero que les sirva mi video y hasta pronto. Bye.